Hi, it's Shallalla, and I'm here with Holmes for our series on Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way first round versus 10th time. In this video, we are going to talk about week 2, which is called Recovering a Sense of Identity. Joe, how was week 2 for you?
I really liked week 2, and I started to notice serious advancements. I really thought about what it means to recover a sense of identity, and I was conscious that in the world we live in, on social media and the internet, we're forced by algorithms and how, the respect we get from likes and comments. And we were talking the other day about how if you put loads of hard work into a post, people don't engage with it because you've put hard work into it, because it takes some time to invest, and they just, they like a cute photo of a dog, but it completely ignore the thing you've worked hard on. And I was aware that my Instagram feed had turned into lots of photos of me, sort of very posed and very, how you would see on like a celebrity. But I'm aware that I don't want to be like that. I want to maintain my artistry and the things I love. So what I did during week 2 is I filmed some content that showed more of my identity. I filmed one where I did a Would You Rather question series, but I also did one where I spoke about my favourite books that I'd read during 2020, and it was a success, and I feel like people really connected to my identity. So that really made me feel more confident, and now I'm planning to film more videos like that to really share my identity. So I think it went really well. How did you find it?
For me, going through the chapters for the 10th time, it feels like visiting old friends. Like a friend who you haven't seen in a while, and then they say something so beautiful that you remember why you love them. For example, when I read at first flush, going sane feels like going insane. I really love that. And speaking of identity, it brought me to the question, who could I be if I weren't blocked? If I weren't insecure or a closet perfectionist? Who could I be?
Yeah, and I feel like you've recovered that, and you've thought about doing things that I feel like the crazier makers and just anyone that's watching us and forming an opinion can be very, very negative. And, moving to a different surrounding or a different location, you feel more free. And I know at one point you filmed a video with a selfie stick where you were singing, and that's quite a freeing thing. But sometimes it seems scary to, go with your identity and take a selfie stick out and film yourself singing, because people might walk past and there might be people around. And how did you balance that sense of doing something that's really true to your identity, but also worrying about what other people think?
To be honest, that was really tough because, first of all, I don't really like to be on camera, which is probably for you something like, are you sure about that? Because I have a YouTube channel and it's always me in front of the camera. But it's more like I don't have a choice because I want to say what I have to say, and so it has to be me on camera. I always dreamt of having a film and theater company, like having a solid group of people around me with whom I can produce all the projects that I have in my mind. But life turned out a different way, and it turned me more into a solo filmmaker and a creativity coach, which I love doing. So getting the selfie stick out, and I mean, the selfie stick is like in itself the most embarrassing piece of equipment.
I agree.
Seriously, it's my favorite piece of equipment as well. I don't want to go anywhere without it because of all the things you can do with it. This music video was an excuse to play around with it. And I discovered these movements that you can do, and it looks like somebody is moving the camera around you, and it was totally amazing. And yes, there were people, not a lot of people, because it was raining, but they looked at me like, what's she doing? Is she crazy? And I came to the conclusion, I'd rather be the crazy artist with green hair and a selfie stick and wet clothes and freezing, but having fun with me and my creativity, than being the dog owner walking his dog and making fun of that person. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And I did the same. When I did the artist take that week, I went out in the rain and I did a monologue in the middle of a field, and I was like, people are going to walk past, but our identity is to be the artist, and even if other people call that crazy, we need to do what we want to do.
Yeah, for me it was like, when I found that bridge, it wasn't an option to not make that video. I simply had to. And it was also interesting regarding perfectionism, because I wasn't warmed up properly. I haven't sung in a while, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought, I don't care. I want to do this because I found this amazing location with its natural reverb, and I just want to have fun with my voice. And I didn't even have a microphone with me. I used my battered Zoom H2 recorder. When I came home and started editing, I realized how imperfect it was. And I sent it to a friend, Josh, who's a music producer who I make videos for. He said, yeah, you're several times off pitch. It was interesting because I could observe myself. Okay, he just said you're off pitch. And my immediate reaction was, you did bad. You wasted your time. This is not something you can publish. And then I had this voice in my head that said, yeah, but I had so much fun doing this. And so I talked to Josh and I said, okay, listen, this is the situation. This is how I recorded this. And he said, if that's the process, then it's great.
And one of the quotes in the margin by Eugene Delacroix says, artists who seek perfection in everything are those who cannot attain it in anything. And I think that's very true. And if you spend all the time looking for the perfection is in the idea, in the editing, how you put it all together. The perfection might not be in the vocals, but the perfection is in your happiness.
In my happiness doing this, and actually it brought me to a ton of other things as well. Like, for example, a criticism that I read regarding The Artist's Way, where it says, okay, so we're all supposed to be mediocre artists and just do what we want. And I know that what I did there is not marketable art, but if I wanted it to be that, I'd have a direction. Out of this artist state, this found location where everything just fell into place, I'd have a really good starting point.
Yeah, and going back to week 2, I feel like in identity, a really important factor is intention, and the intention behind what we do as artists. And I know my intention is to spread truths and to spread open emotions, and I don't know exactly what your intentions are, but I think with that there was an intention to do something fun, to make yourself happy, and to try something new. And you met that intention, so you didn't have to film it again. You didn't have to worry about the pitch, because you met your intention. And I feel like staying true to identity is knowing that everyone has different intentions when we make art. But if you stay true to your intention, then it makes you a stronger sense of identity as an artist.
Week 2 has one of my favorite tasks in it, which is the life pie. You draw a circle on a piece of paper and you place a dot in the circle where you feel your contentness with that area is. And the areas Julia Cameron suggests are spirituality, exercise, play, work, friends, and adventure/romance. I have done this task 10 times in 16 years, and I love it because it shows growth in this erratic way, which is probably the only way that growth really happens, because it doesn't happen linearly. I remember times when I was at almost 100% in one area and had completely neglected another one, and then I started paying attention to the starving areas in my life, and I could see my life pie smoothing out. We talked about this before, doing half of the task, and the life pie is something that I strongly recommend to everybody who's doing The Artist's Way.
Yeah, and what I loved about the artist's pie is that it's kind of subjective in the sense that you're giving each thing a measurement. You're not looking at, how much time you spent. You're looking at sort of how much effort you're putting in. It's your subjective emotion towards how much you're giving to each thing and how much each thing is giving back. And I started to realise I was helping other people do things, but it was sort of more things I felt I had to do, and I was putting so much effort into them when all I was getting back was negativity. And then I realised I was putting way too much time into it for that reaction. I feel like if I got a different reaction and it had a clearer aim, then it wouldn't have felt like it was too big a chunk out of my life pie. But then what I did is I rethought that, and I thought, okay, so this thing I've got to do, I'm going to set a time that I do that every day, but I'm not going to put as much time into it. I'm not going to, give it my everything, because I need to put my everything into the things that give back and the things that are making me happy.
Yeah, I hear you. The Life Pi is an amazing tool to measure what you've just explained. How was your experience with week 2? What did your Life Pi show you? Let us know in the comments. And if you got value out of this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more information like this. I'll put a couple of videos for you on screen, and there's more to come on Joe's and mine journey on the artist's way. See you soon.